appreciate that. I'm not crying. Was just coughing, but I think that she is motivated by money. And I do think that I think she would benefit from sitting down and really being like, what is my brand? Cause she's still like selling, she's still got the website. If I were her, I would go more niche. And that's where the internet is headed. Like I went to a talk the other night do you know Taylor Lorenz? She's a writer for the Washington Post.
Yeah.
She writes on tech. And she was talking about the fact that like the 2010s were all about like, oh my God, look how connected we can all be. Right. And that was cool. That was great. But what the 2020s are going to be about is going to be like more niche spaces. And so I think celebrities need to go a little bit more into their niche. And I think Bethenny does that in some ways. And she really plays into her audience. But then she'll make a video where she's like, let me tell you what's wrong with Taylor Swift. And it's like, no, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Right. And I agree. You look at like, you mentioned her earlier, like you look at like a Gwyneth Paltrow, like when Goop started, it was like, what the hell is this? We're not taking this seriously. Like you're rich, you're bored. Goop is now a real brand. If you talk to Gwyneth just did, I don't know where she said this or the exact words, but I think she said like her goal is to now sell Goop or just this is it and like phase out and you will not see her acting, no more public life. I'm like, that to me makes sense. So like, I love money. I would need more. I would like more, but I mean, if I had who knows how much Bethenny really has, the rumor 120 million, other people say it's not that much, but like, to me, it's like, I would just fade away. Like, I know it's not like I'm really secure. Like I'm okay inside. So I understand fame and the biggest drug and I get it. But to me, it's like, I would be at the Bel Air Hotel for dinner on Monday. Like she just was, but fine. I don't need to like Tuesday. I would just go live my life with $100 million and be like, you can all fuck off. I don't need you trolls. I'm shutting down the social media. You're never going to hear from me again. I'm actually really wealthy. When you have like hundreds of millions of dollars, you could wake up and just entertain yourself every day for 365 days a year. I would just go live.
Yeah, totally.
Who needs the headache? Who needs this headache of being angry about Taylor Swift?
Well, it's funny you say that because I remember when the reality reckoning thing started, she kept being like, I could be out surfing right now and living my life and enjoying the Hamptons and like all this kind of stuff. But instead I'm doing this for nothing. And it's like, yeah, but like a week ago you were like yelling at the pool about like some random celebrity. So like, you don't ever like, I mean, yes, we see you like out in these beautiful places, but you're still like angry and yelling about like, who knows what, like some other, I don't know, whatever celebrity or like, she makes these videos where she'll be like, I'm not an active fan of Gwen Stefani. And it's like, Bethenny, like you're only opening the door. Don't say that. Like, I think if I was Bethenny and like, Bethenny, I know you'll probably never hear this or you will, and you'll be upset about something, but like, and I don't mean this to be mean, but if I were you, I would just do less. Just do like take whatever you're doing and do 50% of it and everything would be better.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, the Gwyneth thing to me makes the most sense. I mean, by the way, like, there's fame and there's money. Like if you ask people, how many people are really, really quote unquote famous that have nothing and would tell you that they would rather take the money. Like you look at like a Spencer and a Heidi or like, like people don't realize like most people in reality and even celebrities. I interview a lot of people from the 80s and 90s that were big. They don't got a lot of money. Like they would love. So to me, it's like, I understand fame is a drug, but look, my advice to her is like, just go live your life. Like if I had this money, I don't know. I don't think anyone would really ever hear from me again. Like my friends would. I don't think I'd be doing like, hey, I'm going to do an Instagram live story right now. I really don't think I would. That's just me.
I get that. And life is exhausting enough without the internet, right? Have you ever had the Swifties mad at you? That's terrifying.
Thank God I'm really not into Taylor. I understand she's the biggest celebrity that's ever existed. So because I'm not into her, I have nothing against her. So the Swifties have never come for me. The majority of people that come for me are Bravo people that when I say like, Erica Jane is great. I get decimated when I say, like, Teresa versus Melissa. Like, these are the people that want my head on a silver platter. And then you're like, I really don't care that much, but thank you.
Right.
What do you think? And then, like, we can wrap up afterwards. What do you think of this whole new thing? Did you see? I don't know who the TikTok people were, but I know it was not you, of this whole like global empowerment mission and the whole thing would be strong. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like this whole thing that they're trying to expose and saying that like Bethenny probably donated to this. And if you do go on to donate to Be Strong, it takes you to this global empowerment mission and therefore Be Strong. Now they're saying it, not Meredith, not David Yontef, but we'll talk about it here for a minute. That they're saying like, and did they get a cease and desist? I mean, by the way, if you go on my YouTube and my downloads and my audio is really the big numbers, but like my YouTube is just gravy. But like I've had some pretty, like when I do a YouTube short, I do like a pretty targeted headline. I've had some headlines about Bethenny that haven't been, Bethenny Frankel, brilliant genius or completely crazy. Like I felt like I've had the most pleasant headlines and I really don't dislike her. I'm just
Yeah.
observing these things, but like what is up with this Be Strong? Is it real? And does it even matter if she's getting people to donate? But they're basically saying there is no charity. It's this other charity. And she's just like the conduit.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this before. There's somebody called Celeb Fail who does a lot of these posts, and
I
people are
think that
always
was
like,
it.
Meredith Lynch is Celeb Fail. I'm not. Like, I don't know how to tell you guys this. I'm not. Like, you guys at this point, like, you really think I'd have a phone, have like a burner account? Like, I've kind of put it all out there. And I've talked about Be Strong and Global Empowerment Mission a little bit, and this is what I'll say. I said it once, and I'll say it again. There are videos up where Be Strong is a way that Bethenny raises money for global disaster relief through a nonprofit called Global Empowerment Mission. If you go to donate via Be Strong, you are actually donating to Global Empowerment Mission.
And it takes you to a website. And if you look on the top, it says Global Empowerment Mission.
Yes. So a lot of celebrities, companies do this where they partner with a nonprofit. And, whether you go to CVS and they say, would you like to donate $1 to the American Heart Association or something? It's a similar enough concept to that. I have no problem with that. I really don't. This is what I will say. I personally would not donate probably to Global Empowerment Mission. That's my own personal thing. Just like that. And I'm allowed to say that. And you can research the nonprofit yourself. I worked in nonprofit for a long time. I know a fair amount. And I think that I would rather give my money to other organizations. And I think that's totally fine. Do I think Bethenny gets any money from Global Empowerment Mission? No, I don't. I don't think she takes a dime from it. Do I think she uses her celebrity to promote donating to disaster relief? I do. I think that's great. Do I think anytime she gets criticized, she screams, I'm a philanthropist who helps people? I do. And I think it's a little bit of a sticky situation because almost every single celebrity has a fundraising component that they do. And so I think that she has been really strategic in developing her voice as like, well, I'm a philanthropist. And that's great. Lots of people don't donate places, but no, Be Strong is not a 501c3. It's not its own nonprofit. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. And I think it's one of those things where doesn't mean Global Empowerment Mission hasn't done great stuff. But I personally would not donate to that nonprofit, and other people can make their decisions.
Why wouldn't you donate?
I wouldn't donate just because I feel like I have not looked it up in a while, but the CEO, like to me, was not somebody that I found to be trustworthy. And people can make their own decisions about that. If you look it up, there's an article about him in the Daily Mail about, a jet ski accident that he was on or a boating accident that he was on. There's pictures of him with members of the Trump family. You can look up the things about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that he hasn't done good stuff, but there are so many nonprofits out there. There are so many places to give your money. That's just not one that I would prioritize that. But that's my own personal opinion. And that's all, anybody else can decide what they want to do with their money. And I also think like we're allowed to say that, right? We're allowed to say like, I'd rather give my money elsewhere.
Yeah. And I see both sides of it too. One could say, with the Bethenny thing, like, who cares? She's raising all this money.
Yeah.
And others I see the other side of it of like, what is so wrong just to say that I believe in this organization, Global Empowerment Mission, and give to them? That's where it is the typical, like, it is out there, be strong. People are even going to listen to this or probably not understand. It's the mission, like it's in people's minds that Bethenny has one of the biggest, most powerful charities out there on the front lines. And that's not true. She's helping, but it's not her charity, which it's a little bothersome, just a little bothersome.
It's a bit of a marketing thing. And I just also want to clarify charity, the word charity, what that means, right? Anybody can say they have a charity, right? The actual technical term, because I've worked in fundraising for a long time, is a 501c3. And so Bethenny, like people will be like, oh, well, Be Strong is a charity. That's like, that's not a real technical term. Global Empowerment Mission is a 501c3. It is. And that's good. And so the money should be going to somebody who is a 501c3. But I would say